how the Nigerian market is performing so far. We saw the all-share index gain yesterday by 0.60%. Q2 results boosted activities in the banking sector, and of course that sector was sort of driving gains on the market yesterday. However, today analysts are saying surprisingly we're seeing the market down about 0.36%. They say it's still early in the day, but they do expect to see investors sort of getting back in terms of bullish sentiments and actively trading, of course, on the back of the good results we saw yesterday. But let's cross to the NSE floor to get a read on investor sentiment from Baba Ibrahim, acting MD at Main Street Bank Securities. Good morning, Baba.
Yeah, morning to you, Uche. How do you do?
I'm doing great. Well, tell us what's happening on the market right now. Certainly the release of impressive results boosted activities yesterday. Are we seeing investors sort of cooling off after yesterday's good performance?
Yeah, quite surprisingly, the market is starting on a bit of a downward note. Well, that's attributable basically on the stocks of Nigerian bureaus that's just dipped about 2 naira on 6 kobo, as well as a couple of other stocks. But I think it's too early in the day to begin to know how the direction the market is going to palm out. Basically, we expect that the market is going to look up further, before the close of business. And plus or minus, I think we're having a good showing.
Great, great. Well, the banking sector has certainly been driving gains. Talking to analysts today, they say UBA and Diamond Bank are still performing quite well. We saw Zenith Bank performing quite well yesterday. In fact, it bagged maximum points at the close of yesterday's session. But we're hearing today it seems to be slipping. What's happening with this stock?
Well, Zenith Bank closed at 1471 yesterday. But surprisingly, I think it's a little bit down, but of course, it's not conclusive. Zenith Bank is a formidable bank, no doubt about it. Their first Q1 results, is so incredible. 19 billion naira PAT. I think basically what you're seeing on Zenith Bank is a marginal dip. And sooner or later, before the way runs out, or early next week, we're going to see Zenith Bank result come out, and I think it's going to move the share price up further. For UBA, I think UBA is closing high today, because it's on 2.52 naira 50 kobo. It's still looking strong with about 42 million traded volume on today. I think by and large the market is on a good state.
Well, but Baba, we're seeing other banking stocks sort of hovering, specifically GT Bank, First Bank. These are banks that we're expecting to see sort of driving performance, but they still seem to be trading flat.
Yeah, hello?
Can you hear me,
hello?
Mr. Ibrahim?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now, don't forget that, in the course of trading and, decisions have to be made, you expect to see temporary interplay here and there, portfolio switching to take advantage of stocks that are looking a lot better, pending the time frame or timeline on which other stocks results are going to be released. The reason for GTB's marginal slide may not be unconnected with the fact that investors are looking at knocking off a bit of their holdings here and there in some of these stocks and taking positions in UBA and Diamond Bank, given the fact that they need to take short-term gains and all that, But I think that by and large, GTB, it's really going to go places. Don't forget the fact also that they have a board meeting for next week to consider, amongst other issues, dividend payment and all that, interim dividend payment. So I think that what you're saying is basically the fact that investors are shaping up for next week and all that, and for the fact that the result will be released very soon.
We'll certainly be watching the banking stocks, but let's move our attention to some of the other top performers. Yesterday, we saw Nestle move, and we know Nestle, that stock particularly, has moved from about 474 naira in the last 5 or 6 days up to 495 yesterday, 495 naira. What's happening with that stock? Give us some background on why we're seeing that stock performing so well.
Yeah, well, the reasons are really not far-fetched. If you look at Nestle as a company, it's been a very formidable company. On the listing, it has the highest market price going for it. And don't forget the fact that the Q1 result of Nestle is so incredible. They moved up from 2.5 billion in Q1 results to to about 6.5 thereabouts. You know, by all standard, by all shade of imagination, that result is so fantastic, and that's largely the reason why the share price is moving further. I think sooner or later the stock is going to clock 500 and making history in the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Well, I want to also talk about oil and gas stocks. I mean, we saw Owando gained a few kobo yesterday. How is that index performing, of course, on the back of news of this PIB news that came out this morning?
Well, Owando is still stable at 1450, 55 thereabouts. Well, the issue of the new PIB bill, as we speak, is just being tabled before the National Assembly. You know, law process is going to take a while. You know, before the bills is finally passed into law, we expect a considerable period of time to go down the line. I think by and large, it's too early in the day to begin to see the result, the announcement effect on the share price. What I think that by and large, the whole idea and concept of the new bill is to add some accountability, credibility in the whole oil and gas sector, and of course to carry the whole, the entire shareholders in the business of petroleum in Nigeria. I think furthermore, we expect to see the fact that NNPC as well as other companies will be on board. This will result to enhanced transparency, and we expect to see the fact that the sector will be efficiently managed.
Well, thank you so much, Baba Ibrahim, for giving us sort of a read on how investors are playing the market today. Of course, we're looking forward to how the market will close today. We'll give you more on that later in the day. That was Baba Ibrahim, acting MD at Main Street Bank Securities. It's back to you in the studios.